Good morning, everyone. It is the Lord's Day, Baal Day, Baal Day, July 9th, 2023. Now let's start this podcast off with a little housekeeping detail. TC, this channel's naughty little girl, delivered, yes, I said delivered, a batch of amazingly soft peanut butter cookies at the Bottom Peter Pit, hand-delivered on my birthday. That was very nice, TC. Now, what is amazing about peanut butter cookies, you ask? They were soft, and if you guys know anything about TC, you would know she only likes things hard. You figure out the rest of that part. Thanks again, kid. So moving on. In my last podcast, I said I was going to happily rain on your 4th of July parade, the national day of celebration for the now land of the free, home of the slave. Hell, people, I went easy on you. I gave you plenty of chances to have your parties and your celebrations. And in today's sermon, I'm going to put the sacred cow of free Americans to rest. Yes, this cow is going to the bet to be put down, out of its misery. It's the only humane thing to do. And I'm all about humanity and humaneness and humility. And what's the drug I'm going to ask the veterinarian to administer? Well, don't you know? The most bitter pill of truth. Yep. Sacred cows hate it. Most people I know hate it too. But before we go there, let's talk about the weather, should we? First, welcome new subs to my channel. You haven't been here long enough to know that I have 3 large dogs that must be run every day, rain or shine, warm weather or in brutal, and I said brutal, North Dakota winters. Short of a blizzard, they run 365 days a year. They need the exercise, and so do I, I'll admit it. Running to the pickup truck is great for my physique. The dogs run after the truck. It's a win-win situation. And it is not uncommon, especially during North Dakota brutal winter months, to run the heater in my truck. But early July, are you shitting me? 44-degree mornings at 5 a.m.? Am I missing something here? Question is, are you? Have you taken notice of that? Nothing to see here, citizen. Move along. Well, today's sermonette is from the original, and I said the original, Bad News Broadcast. Yep, Dane Winnington from JewEngineeringWatch.org. This guy will tell you how it is. Do I have him called up? Yes, I do. Here we go, people. Today's sermonette.
The world needs to prepare for massive crop failure. That's a headline this week from Gizmodo.com. That doesn't sound good, does it? Many other sources also covering that same report. The report continues, food-producing regions of the world will see significantly lower crop yields in the near future. Yes, part of the plan. The systematic weather decimation of already struggling agricultural regions. In the words of Lyndon Johnson, in 1962, 61 years ago, he who controls the weather controls the world. Next headline. WHO, World Health Organization, warns of imminent, quote, extreme weather events, end quote. That's from PressUnited.com and other international sources. The international body, the World Health Organization, predicts a major uptick in droughts, floods, hurricanes, and other, quote, natural disasters. Let's stop there. Can this be called a, quote, prediction when climate engineering operations are inseparable from this equation and not being disclosed to populations by any official source for obvious reasons? New from Fox News. White House report signals openness to manipulating sunlight to prevent climate change. Yes, let's all keep pretending that so-called solar radiation management operations haven't already been raging in skies all over the world for decades.
Let's make believe, people. Let's pretend. The White House is considering stratospheric aerosol injections, also known as, you got it, chemtrails. Now there's your dose of mass media bullshit, people. You can put sugar on it, but it's still bullshit. They really think we are that stupid. And the bottom feeders absolutely must stop proving our masters right that yes, we really are that stupid. And people, do not think it's over. Don't think for a minute it's safe to go back into the water. Very soon, and I mean sooner than you think. You know it's going to rear its ugly head, don't you? And who, you heard about it, the World Health Organization, wants worldwide dictatorial powers to lock down and mask up whomever, wherever. and when they say so. But trust the medical professionals. Didn't they earn it, people? And what great dancers they were just a few years ago. Here we go.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. If your child had a cough, she'd get just what the doctor ordered.
You know what? I make a lot more money if I take this kid's tonsils out.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
If there's a blue pill and a red pill, and the blue pill is half the price of the red pill and works just as well.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
I'd say it's ironic if you take somebody who's doing their best to get the world ready and, putting, in my case, billions of dollars into these tools for infectious diseases and really trying to solve broadly infectious diseases, including those that can cause pandemics.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
That for the most part, I believe, for the most part, you can trust respected medical authorities.
There you go, people. Would Fauci lie to you ever? How about Bill Gates? How about Mr. and Mr. Obama? The real voice behind F. Joe Biden. You really think they're done with us? Oh, people, please think again. Start thinking correctly. Finally, let's take that trip to the vet. Let's put that suffering animal down. The sacred, imaginary cow known as Free Americans. Let me read to you from the Congressional Record. It won't take long, people. From James Traficant's U.S. bankruptcy speech. United States Congressional Record, March 17, 1993, Volume 33, page H1303. Check it out for yourself, people. Speaker Representative James Traficant Jr. from Ohio, addressing the House. Traficant was no friend of Murray, if you get my point. And he said quite a few shocking things before they hoodwinked them, false framed them, false flagged them with trumped up imaginary revenue tax charges, drove them out of office, actually put them in prison. You should look into the heroic voice and the things Mr. Traficant spoke. But concerning this matter, let's put this sacred cow to rest. Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Chapter 11, people, is a bankruptcy chapter. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government. We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some who say it is a coroner's report that will lead to our demise. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9, 1933, 48 Statute 1, Public Law 89-719, declared by President Roosevelt, being bankrupt and insolvent. House Joint Resolution 192 of the 73rd Congress in session June 5th, 1933. Sovereign resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause dissolved the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all United States governmental officers, and departments, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today in name only, and let me add, people, codified into law as a corporation. The receivers of the United States bankruptcy are the international bankers via the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. All United States offices, officials, and departments are now operating within a de facto, that means appears as status in name only, under emergency war powers. With the constitutional Republican form of government now dissolved, the receivers of the bankruptcy have adopted a new form of government for the United States. This new form of government is known as a democracy, being an established socialist communist order under a new governor for America. This act was instituted and established by transferring and or placing the office of the Secretary of Treasury to that of the Governor of the International Monetary Fund, Public Law 94-564, page 8, section H.R. 13955 reads in part, quote, the U.S. Secretary of Treasury receives no compensation for representing the United States. That's it. I mean, there's more to it, but that's all I'm going to read to you. You guys could easily look this up. James Traficant's U.S. bankruptcy speech. It'll pop right up for you people. So, well, there you go. Suck it up, Buttercup. They say the first step to treating a drunk is to get him to admit he is a drunk. That makes sense to me. Now, might this not be the best approach, the best way to free the slaves? You have to convince them they are slaves, then try to free them. You know, I love those old sayings. None are as hopelessly enslaved as those who think they are free. It's a very tough job, people, that I have taken on. In all my humility, of course. But you know what? Speaking of jobs, good grief, I got stuff to do.